Hello everybody, it's DMC3 and I'm here to show you all a real life example on one of the ways of how you can apply mathematics to real life. Now before I dive into that, let me tell you all why you should consider using math to determine the exact distance between yourself and an object as well as your field of vision, because what I'm about to show you is an image of me standing next to a tree and looking directly at the stump. The first reason is position. Whether you're a person who is simply looking for directions or where to find a specific location, or you're preparing for an important event of some kind, it's always good to know where everything is. The second reason is abstract thinking. I don't want to say think outside the box because that is a universal yet misguided idea. I use the term abstract thinking because it's a way to identify various ways on how you can solve a real life problem. Now, what I mean by that is to be aware of your surroundings and to mainly focus on what is occurring at the present moment. Now, you guys are probably wondering, Drew, why do we need math to determine our field of vision or the distance between ourselves and some other object? What does this have to do with us? Technology just basically solves the problem for us. Well, I'll have to admit that we do rely more on technology nowadays. However, that doesn't mean that math should be completely ignored. Learning math is like learning a foreign language. You have all these theorems, definitions, and algebraic terms that you don't know how to apply it to real life. You know, that can be hard sometimes. Anyway, just some facts you guys might want to consider. I'm about to pull up the image right now. I hope you all find it informative. Okay guys, so as you can see here, I created a right triangle between myself and the tree. I used a tape measure to find out my exact height, and I found out that I'm 5 feet 7 inches tall, or 67 inches tall. I simply converted to the smaller unit because that's easier for me. Anyway, there are two types of special right triangles. One is the 45, 45, 90 degrees triangle, and the other is the 30, 60, 90 degrees right triangle. What I have here in this case is a 45, 45, 90 degrees triangle. I used my protractor to verify the acute angle measures. Now, as you can see here, both the acute angles form angles that go between the line of sight and the horizontal line. Now, I made a little error. I apologize. I'm actually looking downward even though my head is tilted to the direction of the stump. So I really hope you guys don't get confused of what I'm trying to display here. The angle of elevation is basically the angle formed where the horizontal line is below the line of sight. Now moving on to my next point. A 45 degree, 90 degree right triangle by definition have both legs that are congruent and the hypotenuse, whatever the length is, times the square root of 2. Now technically you don't have to look at the work I have shown or the analysis of how I got there. In other words, you can simply just memorize that a 45 degree, 90-degree triangle has both legs congruent, and the hypotenuse is, like I said before, whatever the length is for the legs times the square root of 2. I decided to challenge myself a little bit by adding an unknown factor, which is x, in the equation just for the fun of it. I have all this work shown in the image I am presenting you guys just so that you all understand where I'm trying to get at. Now there are 3 trigonometric ratios you guys should know about. There's tangent, sine, and cosine. Now I'll elaborate more on that in the next video. Anyway, I use tangent, which is opposite leg over adjacent leg, to find x. Now here's a little technique for finding unknowns. The idea is to always get the unknown variable by itself. So in this case, you multiply 67 on both sides in order to isolate the x. And that's how I found my unknown variable, as you can call it, x. Anywho, that's all I have for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out my previous videos, go check them out. You'll be entertained. Hope you all have a great night. Peace!